Here we are with the this week's Midweek Howl, the non-paranormal part of the From the Shadows podcast. And I'm just going to come right out of the gate. This when this comes out, it's going to be late, a little like 7 days later. But dude, what did you think of the Tyson Paul fight? Did you stay up and watch it? Did your Netflix buffer you into frustration?
I don't even remember what day that was. No, I was going to North Missouri to deer hunt. I could, this is the deal. Mike Tyson's the best boxer that ever lived, period. So I didn't need to watch it.
I think it was Friday night, right? I think it was Friday night it was on. So you didn't watch any of it? You didn't stay up, and well, it was an hour earlier for you than it was for me, but
no, I did not stay up.
I would not have watched it, except that I do have Netflix, and I'm like, all right, I got at least. Well, first thing was
it buffered because so many people were trying to watch it? Is that what was going on?
Yeah, it was. It buffered. Mine came through though, and once it came through, it was okay. It was weird. Had stuff happening trying to get on to Netflix I'd never seen before. Just asking questions about, was there anybody else on the network? Was there? It was just weird, like just stuff I'd never seen. But we had done some shopping or whatever, and we got back, and two local teams were playing each other in a playoff game, and it was on the local television station. So I got caught up in that. And if I had got caught up in that, I probably wouldn't have stayed up late enough to watch the tie. But this local high school game was unbelievable. The one team, Shelby, for people in Ohio listening, Shelby was ahead of Ontario, 48-24 going into the fourth quarter, and Ontario won 49-48.
Wow.
Scored it. They got a kid. It's a quarterback who was adopted by a family in Ontario, which is basically Mansfield, and from Africa. I forget where he was from in Africa, but I think he was really young when they adopted him, and he's going to Ohio State. Got a full ride to Ohio State as a wide receiver next year, but he's their quarterback. And he's a pretty good pretty good player. I mean, shouldn't say little. He's 6'4", but my old college roommate is the AD at Ontario, and I texted him. I said, I have the under on this game at 100. I think I might lose. I mean, they just were going back and forth. It was great. It was great to see a high school football game like that. So, but that got me going into the Tyson fight, and I got to tell you that I didn't really know who who's Jake, Paul.
Oh
and
my God, him and his brother. You don't know who Mike Tyson was?
No, I know who Mike Tyson. I didn't really know who these Paul guys. Like, they seem like a couple guys that are just famous for being famous, right? Like,
yeah, they got on YouTube, made a little channel, and now.
Now, do you watch them or
do you? No, my God, I didn't. My kids watch them, dude. They're like half my age. I don't watch those fucking freaks, and I don't talk to girls with nose rings. Those are my two things, man. Not briefly. I mean, if I have to, but no, I ain't gonna.
Well, I had no idea who those guys are. I remember the one guy during COVID opened up a box of Pokemon cards that he paid $1 million for, something ridiculous. But they make I mean, I did some digging. They make a ridiculous amount of money for YouTube. They make the money that we should be making doing this. You know what I'm saying?
There's a dozen guys that do that. Like Whistling Diesel just tears up trucks. These guys, there's a lot of people, unfortunately. Whistling Diesel. He's out in Ohio or Indiana.
Whistling Diesel. I don't know who that is.
Diesel. There you go. Google him up. Whistling Diesel.
Is he on YouTube?
He's on everything.
Wow, I don't know who that guy is. But I was surprised. Now, here's what surprised me. I work with some young dudes at the post office, and I figured they'd all be, what was his name? Was his name Jake Paul? Jake Paul or Logan Paul? Whatever.
Jake's the one that was fighting.
Jake's the one that's fighting.
Logan's his brother.
And so I figured they'd all be for this. No, they all wanted to see Mike Tyson whip his rear end.
Yeah.
apparently nobody likes this Paul guy.
Yeah, you can tell by the 6 million subscribers he has.
Yeah, they
fucking Lonelyville, right?
It's like they
he got any lonelier from the fish. He'd be on our show.
But I mean, it's almost like they tune in just to hate on him or something. I don't know.
Some of them are. Haven't you seen those? Worse than that's taking their place. Haven't you seen those tattooed faced hot tub brothers from Jamaica or whatever?
No, I have no idea who you're talking.
There's these two dipshits that got tattoos all over their face.
Okay.
And all over, they got crazy hair. I don't even know what they're called. I don't even want to spend they pop up on my Daily Mail feed every once in a while when they do something or say something. And there's millions of people that watch these two fruitcakes. And the first one that made them famous, they were in a hot tub contemplating, I don't know, war and peace or world domination. No, Roman Empire. No, they sit around and just talk like two retards in a hot tub with face tattoos. And
do we need to get a hot tub? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I just, I think that just goes to show you the new depths that this world has fallen to. Right?
Well, it's easier to put your content out there. Before, you used to have a deal with a television or radio station or a movie studio. Now you can be those.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I mean, that's what we're doing. I mean,
yeah, Colonel Parker would have never signed them.
Which, by the way, that's another new doc on Netflix. I'm interested in the is it called Comeback or whatever? It's about Elvis Presley and that show in Vegas. So I'm interested in watching that. So not to promote shows on Netflix, but I am interested in watching that.
When was that? 1968? Was that the Comeback tour?
Yeah, I think, and it was kind of a lot of it was kind of covered in that movie, in the Elvis movie, I think. I mean, I
didn't see the Elvis movie, but I've been to Graceland 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere in one of my many things, now two things we don't talk about bad in this house is Jesus and Elvis. So
okay.
I've got to watch what I say here. Anyway, I forgot who told him if he went there, he was going to fail.
Boy, I don't remember that either.
Like, where did he do that at? MGM or what hotel did he book out there to do it?
I don't even remember that. Was the MGM a thing at that time?
I don't know. Let's just say MGM, because you know where MGM was? No, Hilton Properties was headquartered. Hilton Entertainment was headquartered out of Memphis until just a few years ago. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Everybody, all the trades were talking about all the money he was getting paid to do this, and everybody, he was the talk of the town. And somebody that he had known for a long time, when he said, "Hey, what do you think?" The guy said, "You're going to go out there and fail. You're fat, you're old, you're slow. If you go out there," he said, "they're just freaks looking for a carnival circus. You go out there looking like this."
This could have been the same conversation they had with Tyson and when talking about this fight with G. Everything.
Yeah, the difference is Elvis lost weight and went out and knocked out of the park. I don't think Tyson. I didn't watch it. But I've read 2 things on it.
Yeah, what do you read? Tell me what you read.
That Jake Paul wouldn't stand still and fight him.
Okay.
He just, you know what I'm saying? He just, I don't use the term rope-a-dope, but let's just say rope-a-dope.
Yeah.
And there was a guy on X that had a couple freeze frames and said, this right here, the old Mike was about to come out and realized he was going to screw up his payday, and he didn't do it.
Well, did you see any?
Which the article that I had read was somebody had put that Jake Paul apparently really loved Mike Tyson when he was a little kid.
His dad did. They said his dad.
Yes, and knew he was kind of, his fortunes have changed, and this was kind of an opportunity for them to both make a bunch of money, and it wasn't about beating him up or anything else. It was about one last hurrah and paycheck, hopefully, that he won't
blow.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
Well, he did. I mean, the Paul guy did say afterwards that there was no point in hurting somebody that didn't need to be hurt. But I will say this: the training videos they showed of Tyson leading up to this, I was scared. I thought he was going to kill the guy.
That's what I think. The one guy that I read,
Yeah.
if Jake Paul, in order to hurt Tyson, would have had to come inside to try to do something like that. Tyson, what's Tyson need? 10 seconds? 5 seconds?
5 seconds.
You know what I mean? 5 seconds.
Yeah. I kept waiting. I'm like, because Jake Paul had his hands so low. Okay, they were like down below his chest. And I'm like, any really good fighter would just lit him up like a Christmas tree, just like knocked him out. And so I can't believe that he's actually legitimately any kind of real fighter, that he fights anybody that has any kind of skill. And even though he's like 9 and 1,
was he? I mean, he's roided up big. He used to be a little kid when he was a little skinny kid.
Well, he was 6'2", 225, and our buddy Wade, who's really well versed in the fight game, says he does not ever fight at that weight. He gained weight to get up to Tyson's weight, so he looked kind of doughy out there. He looked like me, doughy. Although I'm about 10-day-old bad dough compared to his. Anyway, he gained weight, so he probably fights at 20 pounds lighter or something, and probably looks a little bit leaner. But yeah, the one thing, and I noticed it. Tyson's legs, you could tell, were gone. That when you get older, that's one of the things that goes is your legs and your balance and stuff. And
tell me about it. I had to walk downstairs to do this podcast.
I had to walk upstairs. So what's the difference? It's all the same. So okay. So yes, I thought it could have been over in the first round. They could beat the crap out of each other, and I would have much rather seen that than go through 8 rounds of them just playing low. Yeah. So, but I did want to ask you about something else that happened last week. And I don't know what your thoughts are on it or if you saw anything, but the congressional hearings on the UFOs and all the stuff that was presented at those hearings. Did you see any of that stuff or hear any of it?
I read something where they tried to shoot something down with some missiles, and it was completely oblivious to whatever we fired at it. And I didn't even read the whole thing because I thought it was a spoof.
No, there was some crazy stuff that came out. The one guy, and I don't know names. He's the main witness or whistleblower or whatever.
Whistleblower.
Well, that's what they're
aliens. The extraterrestrials did some bad shit, waste, fraud, and abuse, and they're getting.
Well, no, I think the whistleblowing is that this is all being kept from us.
Who says? Yeah, I mean, who? I'm going to play the devil's advocate here, but
okay,
who says us need to know what all alien shit's up to?
Well, because some of it's doing some stuff that could be poses a threat to us, even as civilians.
In Ohio, or what are these aliens doing?
Well, let's see. One of the things they said was that a couple had, when they say engaged, kind of engaged or flown through civilian aircraft formations that, like, there were civilian airplanes flying, and these things purposely flew close enough to them that it was considered dangerous.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you were here from fucking Mars in a rocket ship, would you buzz them?
Yeah, but you know what else they came out with?
They care about the FAA? What?
They ain't from Mars.
Where are they from?
They believe they're from in the ocean. They're coming from under the water, underseas. They're coming out. That's where there's. I mean, now they may have come from somewhere else.
I totally believe that, because I know all kinds of people that are underwater on fucking houses and boats and cars. So if they got a rocket ship, they're underwater for sure. And how you pay for something like that?
Well, maybe they're going to start Ubering, right? I mean, look, if
maybe they just get on YouTube and they.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, yeah, I can't. Now think about it.
Maybe we could get a Martian to fight Jake Paul next time.
That would be fantastic. The question is, do you get what kind of intergalactic audience?
I don't know. You better hurry the fuck up because they'll get deported. They're going to have to fight over in the rumble in the jungle or something because this Tom Holman ain't messing around.
Anyway. But yeah, there was some crazy stuff that came out. They said they had, so the senator, whatever senator was, is asking questions, ask about video and photographic evidence. And the guy's like, listen, there's thousands of photographs and videos that are in possession of the government and the military of these things. And so she's like, well, why aren't we seeing them? And he's like, look, they're considered dangerous to our, that our ally or our enemies would see our capabilities in obtaining.
And they might and enlist the help of the damn extraterrestrials against America.
I don't know, but that's what he said. He said it gives away some of our abilities. If we show some of these video pictures that we're taking, I'm thinking, what's it matter when there's another race or species on this planet that exceeds all of our abilities? What's it matter if we're second best over Russia or China? You know what I'm saying? What's it matter if we're second best? Like we're going to outlast them then, at least for total world dominance. I don't know. But one of the craziest things they said is so the Navy, I believe it was the Navy, was out in the ocean and
That's where the Navy is. Yep.
But in a hurricane, out in the ocean in a hurricane conditions, and have on video one of these things sitting there in the air, not moving.
During a hurricane.
During a hurricane. Hurricanes, the wind, and you know what a hurricane is, wind and rain.
I think so, yeah. Not because of typhoon, right?
Anyway, the UFO is sitting there, not moving at all, totally stationary. Then, what did he say? From standing still in this hurricane weather to like Mach 1 and 1.5 or whatever, it just took off. So it said not only did the speed, of course, it took off from a standstill was improbable, impossible, but the fact that but the more impressive thing was that it was perfectly motionless, standing still. Well, a hurricane was all around it. So I don't know. And here's the crazy thing. So Izzy comes home the other night, and I mentioned this to her, and she goes, "Oh, you're just making that up. Like, yeah, that's not real." So, like, because it's weird. Like, this stuff is coming out, and nobody says anything. Nobody cares
because they've been doing the drip for the last 5 years.
Oh, obviously, yeah, 100%, 100%. And look, it started in our childhood. With the movies that we watched. Close Encounters. I mean,
and they did Star Wars and all that shit to prepare us for the future.
I'm sure that they did. They used that as sort of what would you even call it? Like a slow rollout of information to desensitize us to when it really happened. I don't know. I just think it's a crazy thing. I never in my lifetime thought that this would happen. But then you think about all the people they deemed as crazy and nut jobs who experienced this stuff, and they just, went out of their way to make them seem like they were crazy. So
that's what the government does. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. Do you think so? I mean, out in the middle of Missouri in the Ozarks, do people even care that there's
about what? Aliens?
About you? Yeah, aliens, UFO.
UFOs?
I mean, yeah.
Not really. I mean, at the end of the day, why would they?
So, yeah, I'm just wondering. It makes me wonder what people like. More people worry about Jake Paul than they do aliens.
Just the people on YouTube and the people with technology addictions and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I get it.
I think there's probably all kinds of people just sitting around, not worried about. I got a buddy of mine that raises sheep, so he's like a shepherd, and he's got a smartphone, I guess, but he's not on really anything, and he's just fine calf roping, sheep raising, and doing his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that sounds fantastic, doesn't it? I mean, do you really think if say a year ago at this time, okay, if you shut off all social media and we're just out there raising sheep and calf roping, and then you turned on your stuff again now, a year later, I think all the stuff you missed and it wouldn't have affected your life one bit.
Like what?
Although, well, I mean, you'd missed all the political crap, and I mean, when it comes down to it, that's not going to do. Nothing's going to happen anyway. Just going to be a bunch of blustering for another 2 years until the next election. A bunch of posturing. Nothing's really going to get done. So people are going to make themselves richer. But
then why are people so scared of them?
Well, that helps. That helps to get get worked up towards the next election.
Divide and conquer. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, of course.
There's professional politicians that act like that.
Of course.
Why would you tell me that?
I don't know. I hate to pull back the veil on you like that. But hey, look, I'm going to give an update that might make you feel better. I feel
great. I'm a little tired. I had to mow I bladed my driveway a while ago, and I smell like gas fumes because I got a 1950 Ford tractor that I bladed my driveway with. I went to my son's football banquet a while ago.
Did he get any awards other than a letter?
Just a letter. There was a few awards. He's just a sophomore, and he was trying to process how to give another sophomore the weightlifting award, and they didn't give it to him. Well,
maybe they are rewarding a guy for hard work.
Yes, because he's there early and he goes above and beyond and all this other stuff.
And maybe they're like, hey, look, let's not give it to your kid. Maybe it'll make him mad.
My kid's going, I can bench press 315 pounds. We're in the same class. He can barely do 205.
Big deal. Maybe they expect your boy to be doing 450.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But I want to give an update on the monkeys in South Carolina.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking when I hung up the phone with you the other day, I had the solution, but I don't know if they implemented it or not.
Well,
go ahead.
I got corrected by our super fan, Marion Westfall. She said that the facility they escaped from was not actually the research facility. It's just a facility that
harbors monkeys,
keeps the monkeys and grows them and whatever.
For what?
To then send them off to research facilities. So they're not actually being researched at this facility. They're just being it's just a place where they keep them and
so they're
and
not quite being exploited, but their baby
pretty
monkeys
close.
Will be at some point.
No, these monkeys will be exploited. They're just not being exploited right now. They're breeding them and housing them.
The researchers are breeding these monkeys?
No, the place they escaped from are not the research. They're the
okay. Because my buddy Ed.
Okay, yeah. What did Ed have to say about the monkeys?
He couldn't figure out why they were making such a big deal. He's a fiscal hawk.
Yeah,
and he's lost a lot of sleep since the election.
Okay.
He's had to answer the Mar-a-Lago phone several times, so he hasn't. He just couldn't figure out why we can't bring him Haitians from Ohio down to South Carolina or North Carolina. If there was really monkeys out there, they'd catch and eat them, and if we did it quick enough, they would all have the monkeys gone by the time Tom Holman gets there and sends them back to Haiti.
Well, Ed, because I know you'll listen. They weren't really eating monkeys, so just so you know, Ed.
They eat dogs and cats, not monkeys. That's it.
They didn't even eat those. But that makes a great story to tell. I think maybe Ed, because isn't Ed a man's man, right? He's like Mr. Like we should have sent him to South Carolina
I think he could or tame them.
I think he could go catch them. That's what I think.
He could probably lasso them, right?
Yeah, why not? I
don't know. I got a friend of mine. I probably told you the story about a friend of mine was telling me they taught him how to. That one of the things you have to do when you go to SEER school out in Fort Lewis, Washington, they make you kill a rabbit.
Really? Okay. Why is that?
You know what I mean? Because they got these pilots in the SEER's resistance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
They want to teach these guys. If you go down in enemy territory or whatever, how you can set a snare and catch a rabbit or a squirrel or something and eat it until Team America can come and rescue you, right?
Yeah.
So I got this other buddy of mine says that ain't shit. You go to jungle school because if you're our age, you did a lot of jungle was the stuff in the day.
Vietnam and Panama and Nicaragua.
They teach jungle school down in Panama, and they teach you how to capture and kill a monkey and eat it.
Ooh.
And
that'd be rough.
You take what a green army canteen looks like, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you ever seen the little like aluminum stainless steel cup on the bottom of them where you can pull it's shaped like the bottom of the canteen. You can pull it out. You know what I'm talking about?
It's like the lid, right?
Yeah, or the bottom of it. Yeah, it comes on the bottom and it's got two little wire like handles, so that you could fill it up or whatever.
Oh, okay.
You take the whole thing out of the pouch. You're probably just looking at the green thing on the top. If you undo your pouch and pull the whole thing out, it's got an aluminum hot metal cup on the bottom that's the exact shape of the bottom of the canteen. So it goes together like that. You track what I'm saying? But it's got a little wire handles that fold up. And my listeners have seen that. So he says they teach you. Now, the theory is you just got shot down so you don't have nothing, right? You just got to have, you got what you got on, right? Or what you had in the aircraft. So you take the bottom of that canteen. He said you walk in the woods where you find the monkeys and they'll follow you because you're strange. They don't know what you are. Okay. You unlace one of your boots and you take that cup and you tie it to something stout enough that the little monkey tree, little sapling, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then you fill it with water and you walk away. And he said those monkeys will come, and the first monkey that grabs it will not let it go because he don't want the other monkeys to take it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
And he said you can just walk up there and knock him in the head, and he will scream like you never. He said you just can't even imagine the way these things scream bloody murder. They're looking at you with their little eyes bugging out. Wah, wah, wah. And he said, but they will not let go. It's some kind of a primal deal. Let go of that cup. They will let you bop them in the head and kill them while they're holding on to your little cup tied with your bootlaces.
Wow, that.
I know. I don't know how the show went down like that. You started it. You just said I'm going to hit record, and here we are in the jungles of Panama eating monkeys.
Eating monkeys. Well, I blame it on Ed. What are you talking about? All I was doing was giving an update that they had captured. It's Ed's fault. So
don't eat no monkeys.
Well, okay. So to get us out of this hole, okay. So
my son was texting me earlier talking about Capitol Speedway because I was telling him racetrack stories the other day, and he was laughing and he said, "You need to say this on your podcast." And I said, "I'll think about it." But
what's
he
that?
texted me with telling racetrack stories. But anyway, go ahead. How do you get out of this ditch?
Would you got a racetrack story?
I got 50 racetrack stories.
Well, I get a story about organized crime over in Lithuania that I thought was.
Oh my God! The Democrats aren't going to be in power in the next 8 weeks. They're not going to be that much in Lithuania.
What are you talking? What are you talking about? I just thought. Listen,
what's it say about organized crime in Lithuania?
Here it is. Latvia charges 2 Lithuanians. So it was actually in Latvia for counterfeiting. Now, listen, if you're going to prison, all right, you're going to jail for counterfeiting or some kind of organized crime. This has got to be the least. They
were counterfeit Beanie Babies.
Listen, Beanie Babies, I can understand. This would have to be the least like flex. That's what the kids call it, like flex.
Precious
like
moments things. What were they counterfeiting?
They were counterfeiting Ariel laundry products.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay. So Latvian police said Thursday that criminal proceedings have been initiated against 2 Lithuanian citizens suspected of counterfeiting Ariel laundry detergent products and distributing them in significant quantities across Europe as part of an organized international crime venture. In November 2023, Latvia police, in cooperation with tax and customs, see, there's where they got trouble. Tax and customs. This is where
it's what it always is. The money guy, isn't it?
Where my wife comes in. Uncovered a large-scale operation in a residential area of Riga, the Latvian capital, where counterfeit Ariel laundry detergents were packed and stored. The police shared. So get this.
These fancy laundry detergent things are made over there anyway.
I don't know. It says the discovery included a warehouse filled with 22 metric tons of fake washing powder and liquid detergent bearing the Ariel trademark.
It looked like that and smelled like that. Isn't that make it
that? Well, like how could I don't know. Like what was it made out of? So it's an illegal production of a counterfeit product, illegal use of a trademark, forgery of a trademark, which, so they figured that they had caused.
T-shirts ain't got nothing on these Lithuanian people, do they?
No, they said they figured it cost Procter and Gamble, who's really hurting, because they own the Ariel brand, $781,000 worth of damage. So
that's 22 metric tons of this
with labels.
Stuff's worth, or is that's what they had to pay the locals to arrest them?
I don't know. Can you imagine, like, hey, we're having a the organized crime meeting. Hey, you guys are in charge of stealing cars. You guys are, in charge of counterfeiting money.
About making fun of some bullshit law to arrest people on. 100%. I totally understand. I totally can see that.
Well,
I've been in that meeting before.
But I'm talking about the organized crime meeting. Like the people, like this organized crime group, and they say, you guys are going to steal cars.
Mean like the mafia don.
Yeah. Like what do you guys do?
Oh, we're going to capitalist. He just gives a shit about how much money it is. He don't care if it was cool or not. Is it going to make us some money? Yeah, it's going to make us this much money. Okay, let's do the deal. Did you see Goodfellas?
So you think the guy at the PowerPoint presentation on how he's going to produce?
They didn't use PowerPoint. They just said, "Hey, we're going to get this much of stuff for next to nothing, and you're going to be able to sell it."
Right? Come on, man. I don't even think I even think the organized crime guys are going, look, this is lame. If we get caught selling fake Tide and Easy Out or whatever it's called, Shout, Like,
I think from the cop standpoint, that would be a very easy meeting.
You really?
Yeah, because the boss is going to come in here. Hey, we're going to clean this mess up.
Oh man. Okay. Well, here's the other crazy headline I saw, and I think you'll enjoy. Insurers say bear that damaged luxury cars was actually a person in a costume.
You think?
Did you see this video? I have not.
But my God, just think about what that said. Unless you're running into him with a car.
Well, and what has been dubbed,
anything else?
And what has been dubbed Operation Bear Claw, the California Insurance Department said 4 Los Angeles residents were arrested Wednesday and accused of defrauding 3 insurance companies out of nearly $142,000, claiming a bear had caused damage to their vehicles.
What were they doing? In there? Or tearing the windows out or what?
Yes.
I mean, think of how many limited ways a bear could mess up your car.
Oh, that leads me to another one, I'll tell you. So the group is accused of providing video footage from the San Bernardino Mountains in January of a bear moving inside a Rolls Royce and 2 Mercedes. They gave it to the insurance company as part of their damage claim. Photos provided by the insurance company show what appeared to be scratches on the seats and doors. Golly, what's it cost to fix a Rolls Royce? The company viewing of the Rolls Royce suspected it was not a bear inside, but someone in a bear costume. And so they started doing some more
they
because
there's other eyes and watched it sober and realized, what do you mean? How much other work would you have to know?
I don't know. But you say that
bears indigenous to that part of California, that'd be the first thing I'd say.
Yeah, they said there's a lot of.
At least they were smart enough to get the right bear costume. A fucking polar bear.
Oh man. But you say that, and so I saw this video. This lady woke up in her car, literally the front fenders and the front fender, the side fenders, all completely torn off her car overnight. The tires were torn up.
And these bears supposedly did it.
No, listen to this. So they got on the Ring cameras, and it was 2 pit bulls that had torn this car to shreds. And you know why they did it? Because a cat was under the car and crawled up in the motor, and they wanted to get to it so bad. They literally, they were yanking on this car, shaking the car. And so it's no wonder when they get a hold of a mailman.
I was just going to say, you think about all the stuff you go to for a piece of.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the From the Shadows podcast. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.